And another episode of the Wrestling Roundtable podcast is upon us. We are only 3 weeks away from WrestleMania 42 in the city of Las Vegas. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about, as we always do. I'm Ryan Hall. I got my guy Dominique LaRue joining us as always. And Dom, I gotta say there was some real heat that was thrown back and forth between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. That feud for that main event is really getting fascinating to me.
A lot of layers that are definitely being laid on this cake for sure.
Absolutely.
Um, and I know you and I didn't necessarily understand what the whole game plan with the Usos getting involved at one point. The week before when Roman didn't show up and it was just the Usos, we were like, okay, what is going on? Was that a letdown? Was that kind of like a filler episode where,
Right.
next week Roman comes and it gets back picked up? But not only did it pick back up, but it really picked up and now has us have us wondering what's next for the four of them, really. Because next week the Usos have a title match against Division, and my gut feeling feel as though, and I hate to say this, but I feel like Punk may get involved in that match to the point where
Right.
Division win them titles, and that would also definitely, obviously piss off the Usos, but piss off Roman especially, and obviously that'll create a title match at WrestleMania for the titles back. But then if it's not Punk getting involved in that match, do we have any conflict with Jimmy and Jay because of, what we've seen these past couple weeks? Yeah, Jimmy's being the big brother and oh, my brother's a hothead. You know how he gets when he's very emotional, he don't think right, blah, blah, blah. But let's not forget the fact that a couple months ago, around the time Jay had lost that title and he was going through that whole mental thing of, wanting to get the title back and he don't feel like he's up to par of being main event Jay anymore. And he had that outburst at Jimmy about how would you understand what I'm going through when you never won a world title? That dilemma still plays in my mind about what's potentially to unfold with the twins. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel like there's like when I watched that whole segment unfold on Monday night, it just really felt like there was some like unspoken spoken tension between those two. Um, just like you said, playing into that whole dynamic of Jimmy being the more calm, sensible one, and with Jay being the hothead, being the one who's a little bit more apt to fly off the handle. Um, yeah, they were both angry about Punk's comment um, about burying you next to your father. Um, and I get it. I mean, storyline wise, I definitely get that. But at the same time, um, I feel like there's an end game in this that none of us can really see right now because like, both of them have been kind of vocal. Both Jimmy and Jay have been vocal about the fact that neither one of them were satisfied with their WrestleMania 40 match and that they want to run it back and, give it a proper build up, give it a proper kind of blood feud, kind of go back to the days of Brett and Owen and Cody and Dustin, that kind of thing. Um, and I feel like that segment might have started, at least in my head, it started planting some of the seeds of maybe there is something to that. Maybe there is something to the fact that there's, I'm not going to say there's just straight up trouble in paradise with them, but there could be. There could be. I feel like there's some layers on top of that that we're just not seeing yet.
I mean, because are we delusional to say that the Bloodline storyline ain't a volcano? I mean, how many times have we seen so many different dynamics in that that storyline or family dynamic where you know we had Jimmy talking about I'm not Roman's B, I'm not finna fall in line with him to the point where he had to get choked out by Roman for Jay to even fall in line in the first place, and then Jay trying to get his brother to fall in line. And then on top of that, then we go from that to like Sammy wanting to be involved in the bloodline and this, that, and the third. So it's like this is just another chapter of the bloodline that we're tapping into now.
Hmm.
And I'm excited. And you being a storyteller yourself, I mean, I know this gets your juices flowing
It
of like
does.
just like where are we going with it? Like what is going on? What are the new characters that could be involved in it? I mean, we can't forget about what happened on SmackDown last Friday night where Tama Tonga even challenged Solo and called him Roman. Like he was like, you sound a real like Roman right now. You really sound like Roman. So like, who's to say that Solo doesn't pop back in with his brothers? So I mean, because let's face it, MFT that really a good faction. Come on, they feud with, and no disrespect, they've been feuding with the Wyatt Six, and let's just say that storyline is kind of on the same verge as how I feel about Judgment Day, and I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole, but like it's played out now. Let's just the I'm about to call it the urn, but
The lantern.
lantern. Thank you. Give the lantern back to them and let them feud with somebody else. But like, it's time to move on from that.
That horse is dead. It has developed rigor mortis, and it's starting to develop flies. That's, yeah, that's a problem. Starting to
Big
develop into
time.
that's a problem because, yeah, I mean, you've got, um, but kind of getting back to your point about, about Solo, they seem to be building to something with that. Now, is it, you know, do we think it's going to be just a full-fledged redo of the bloodline with the caveat that Paul Heyman's probably not going to be a part of this? Because he's a little occupied right now.
Yeah, but it's the interesting thing to me about if we're redoing the bloodline. If we redo it with Solo and Jimmy and Jay and Roman, just imagine how it's going to be now that Solo talks now
Hmm. Yeah,
because he didn't talk when he was in the bloodline before, but now Solo has a personality. He's very defiant,
he's
obviously.
got his own. He's got his own opinions. He's got his own
He-
feelings.
Exactly. So, he's not going to be the enforcer anymore. Is it going to be right hand man Solo or, because I mean, the way it's looking with Jay, if Jay is not, which I saw on the trends on Instagram, if Jay is not going to be the successor or the tribal chief, the chief, what is it? The chief heir, the heir to the throne.
Right.
Then is he gonna be the new wise man, or what title will he get? I don't know. I mean, like, does he do get a promotion from right hand man to, like, wise man? I don't know. So
That's an interesting concept
because you remember when Roman was very chill. Roman was just going to casually walk out that ring and just go about his business. But Jay stopped him. Jay looked him dead in his eye and said, "No, you go smash him, Joe." And that just set Roman off. And it wasn't a character talking to another character. It was a cousin talking to a cousin. It was a family member talking to another family member about, hey, this man disrespected our family, and I want you to handle your business. And Roman listened. When the last time did we ever see Jay tell Roman to do something?
I honestly can't remember it ever happening.
Exactly. And when the last time we seen Jay have like a literal like voice where he tells his older cousin, like, I want you to smash him. Like, most of the time we see Jay either, being defiant to Roman or kind of hesitant because, Jimmy and Roman are beefing, and like he loves his brother, so he's gonna have his brother back, but it's kind of like, his two family members, so he kind of don't want to step involved. But now it's like this hot-headed Jay is like, no, bump that, freak that. You go handle your business on CM Punk. Like, he's been disrespecting our family. Like, this ain't even about the title anymore. They don't even, like, obviously Jay, and that's another dynamic too. Jay is a former world heavyweight champion too. So what is it? It'd be naive of us not to even think that he wouldn't want that title too.
Of course. I can definitely see the I can definitely see some layers developing once Roman wins, and you and I both think he's going to go over at
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
obviously. I mean, that'd be
But
crazy not to.
but once Roman wins, I definitely see some layers developing um because you got Jey Uso, who is a former world heavyweight champion who beat Gunther, of all people. We're going to get to him in a minute, but who beat Gunther a year ago. Um, and then you had Jimmy, who's never won it before, who's never won that singles title before. I could see some jealousy developing between the three of them, Roman, Jay, and Jimmy,
Yeah.
because once you get past the whole "you disrespected my family" piece of it, then there's still the certain matter of that 10 pounds of gold that's about to be around Roman Reigns' waist.
And then my thing is, or yeah, I mean, the world title is important, but, like, are we going for the world title, or are we going back to the title of tribal chief? Because that was a storyline at one point. And now that, you know, Jay has won gold and he knows what it is to be a champion, who's to say that he's not out to be tribal chief? And Roman did envision, he said, like, when I step down, I feel like you'll be the one to be tribal chief, Jay. So could that rear his head back? They literally fought each other in a tribal, what, bloodline rule match for not only the undisputed title, but tribal chief title too. So
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite matches of that early of the early Bloodline days. It
I
was a
seriously thought Jay was going to be
fantastic
undisputed
match.
champion
Yeah,
if it
no,
wasn't
same.
for if it wasn't for Jimmy.
Yeah,
So could that dynamic play a part in their whole tension too? Because
if
like
they
let's
go
be
to
honest,
if they go down that route, that's where they need to go.
was he really doing it because he felt like that being tribal chief was going to corrupt his brother, or was he doing it for his own selfish reasons?
Or maybe a combination.
So
Hmm. Interesting dynamic. Interesting dynamic. Now, before we move on, the question that I have is Punk going to be able to get his lick back against the reformed bloodline, so to speak? Is he going to be able to get his lick back? Um, because he took a beating Monday night. Is he going to be able to get his lick back?
he was taken to the as the great JR like to say he was taken to the slobber knocker, the what's it called? I was about to say slaughterhouse, but he's pretty much taken to the woodshed and beat.
Yeah. So,
So,
yeah, something about stomping a mud hole in him and walking it dry.
but he laughed.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
that that was the interesting thing. CM Punk was laughing when
That was weird.
Roman left,
That was weird to
s-
me.
saying that I don't need the help. He do. So
He definitely does. He definitely
no,
does.
he did. I mean, he needs help fighting Roman. I mean, this is not go. Okay, look, yes, he beat Gunther for the world title. Okay, but let's break it down here for anybody that don't pay attention to wrestling like that. Gunther is a technical wrestler. Yes, he is a heavyweight, and yes, he do use his brute strength, but he's a technical wrestler. Roman is every aspect of a powerhouse that you can think of. He's fast, he's strong, and he's agile. The
Hmm.
only person on the same level is Roman, is the two people that are going to fight each other at WrestleMania, and that is Oba Femi and Brock. So if them three guys are on the same level athletically as each other, what makes you think that CM Punk has a absolute chance against Roman freaking Reigns? And I'm being as nice as I possibly can.
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel that. Consider this: if CM Punk was 35 years old in his prime,
Yeah, he'll I give him a fighting chance. Yeah,
a fighting chance, but I still think Roman Reigns takes him in his prime. Prime versus prime.
right.
But CM Punk is closer to 50 than he is 35 right now. Roman Reigns is going to have probably 30 or 40 pounds on him, close to 10 years on him. I mean, it's like some of those early UFC fights where you had some 300-pound sumo wrestler going against a college wrestler, and the college wrestler whips him every time.
And then let's just go down memory lane here. Yes, Roman had help, but there was a lot of those matches Roman won very clean,
Hmm.
and he won very clean in the likes of John Cena. Obviously, he had help with Brock a couple times. He ran what was it? Randy you beat? I can't remember if they fought or not. But John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Drew, obviously. Daniel Bryan, Edge, at the same time, matter of fact,
Yeah.
in the triple threat. Kevin Owens, Cody. Like, I mean, the list is this ain't like a small like couple jobber list or whatever the case may be. This is like future Hall of Famers they beat.
Packs, yeah.
And like Cody, he beat some Hall of Famers too, but like I mean not Cody, excuse me. CM Punk, yeah, he beat some Hall of Famers, but at the same time, it's like I mean, I don't know what Finn was going through mentally or whatever, but you beat Finn, sure you beat Drew, but y'all both was like basically playing mind games with each other. Going through is like basically on the same level as you, as far as like technical wrestler. But this is a whole. This ain't AAA. You know, you finna go to the big show. This is World Series type level stuff for her.
Hmm. The Super Bowl,
Yeah,
Final Four,
Final
whatever
Four,
analogy you want to
the
call.
NBA
Yeah.
Finals. This is not well, what the, this is not a street level criminal. This is like Kingpin. This is for all my Marvel fans out there. This is like a Thanos type level threat. This ain't some guy that just robbed an old lady and ran with a purse. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so I mean, CM Punk can come with, and then that's the thing too. Like CM Punk can come with all these mind games, but like, dude, you got set off by somebody calling you old. This man got set off because you disrespected his dad, and you got set off because somebody called you old when clearly you're old. Like, and you can sit there and say all you want to say about Roman with the just for man and all that other stuff, but like, it does not phase him. He's literally been called everything under the sun, and yet he still is around. He's still relevant. He's still like the fans love him, just like they love CM Punk. But at the same time, it's a shift in the air. Like things are shifting towards Roman.
In your opinion, do you think it's going to be you think Roman Reigns is going to be the babyface in that match?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like, I mean, if Monday night wasn't last Monday night was a very clear indication of where we going with this, then I don't know what is because you know, CM Punk came out, talk this talk like he did, whatever the case may be. Jimmy came out. Well, excuse me. Jay came out. When Jay came out, obviously, the fans was excited. Oh yeah, we geek, whatever, whatever. Here comes CM Punk with the same diss. Oh, what are you gonna do? Yeet me to death? But this was a totally different Jay. This wasn't the Jay that, obviously we've criticized his promos a lot, but this was Crash Out Jay again. This was the Jay that the right hand man Jay. This is the I'm gonna get him Jay. Like he saw red and you can see the red in his eyes. You can feel the aggressiveness again of that Crash Out Jay to the
Yeah.
point where all he saw was super kicking CM Punk's head right off his shoulders.
When Jey Uso, yeah, and when Jey Uso's at his best is when he's kind of coming from that
Erratic.
but kind of that chaotic kind of that kind of energy.
Hmm.
When he's got that fire going, when he's pissed off about something, that's when he's at his best. Um, and that was definitely a lot of that on Monday night. That was, I think, my favorite part of that whole segment. Getting back to what you said was when he dropped character instead of calling him Roman, he called him Joe.
And when the last time somebody ever called Roman Joe? It's not too many people.
I mean,
Can't
it
even
can
count
only,
on
yeah,
one hand, really.
yeah, and I mean, I honestly, I'm surprised. Like I mean, the night that that the Shield broke up, when when Roman came out, when Joe came out and said that he had leukemia and had to give up the title.
Yeah, that's the only real time I remember him,
Yeah, I
dropping the
know.
whole
Well,
facade.
when he referred to himself, and I got it at that point because that wasn't a character promo. That was a, hey,
That was a real
I'm
human
about to be fighting something kind of nasty right now. Well, in real life.
in real life. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I definitely think that there are some real possibilities, some real levels going on in that feud right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just eating it up.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We brought him up a couple of times in that last conversation, but I got to bring him up again. Where's our boy Gunther right now? The guy in just the last few months retired John Cena, retired AJ Styles, and right now he's got absolutely nothing going on for WrestleMania.
I mean, he literally within a year and some change retired Goldberg, John Cena,
Hey, Goldberg,
AJ Styles,
how soon we can forget?
and yet those those three big stars, and one in particular, the GOAT himself, and you don't have that's like retiring John. I mean, that's like retiring the Undertaker, like officially retiring him, like he's not doing anything else, and you don't get a match at WrestleMania, the show of all shows, the creme de la creme of professional wrestling. We're three we're 3 weeks away, Ryan. 3 weeks away. We haven't seen him, haven't heard from him.
It,
Last time we see him, he beat the dog crap out of Dragon Lee, just for Dragon Lee the week after to fight for the Intercontinental title. How in the world do you get your brains beat in the week prior and then you turn around to fight Penta for the IC title? Yet the man that beat your brains in is a former IC champion, held the title for 666 days, literally retired three goats of professional wrestling, and yet he don't even get a whiff. Don't even thought we don't even think of him going into WrestleMania. That is mind blowing to me.
it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make a damn bit of sense because obviously, in my opinion, obviously, I'm not in the writers' room. Um, Although I could do some damage in there, but I'm not in the writers' room. But one thing that we had definitely been kind of working towards, in my opinion, Rey Mysterio and Gunther, which would have been a garbage match to begin with, number one. I mean, they just never made any sense to me. But to kind of continue with this whole career killer thing that he's got going on. But, and obviously Ray's hurt as he's been hurt a lot here lately. But tell me why they don't even have a backup plan for it. Tell me they don't even have a secondary plan for it.
Like
Right now you've got Gunther and LA Knight with absolute nothing to do at WrestleMania except for, go to the stadium and eat the catering and craft services.
I'm still just baffled because like obviously we've had 2 seasons of this unreal. We've seen the process that they go through. This is already thought of what 8 to 10 months ahead till we don't even get to SummerSlam or whatever before they even got plans for WrestleMania. They got plans for WrestleMania next year. So how is it that you don't have a plan A, B, or C for Gunther? Gunther now. Y'all push this man to retire three goats, and yet you don't even show him within the final few. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see him next week or the week before, but leading up after Elimination Chamber. It should have been a clear path for Gunther going to WrestleMania, something of that magnitude, but it's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and he's one of the top players. It's not like he's the Miz or something. No disrespect to Miz. It's not like he's R-Truth. It's not like he's uh 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 a jobber or something. This guy is amongst the top stars in your business, and yet you don't have anything. Not
He
even a
held that
promo.
Intercontinental title for better than 2 freaking years.
And was basically the second title competing with Roman's record. Like,
Yes.
thought about the undisputed title, you thought about the IC title too. Like, how long is Gunther going to keep that title? And this man was having 5-star matches. It's not even like 3 stars. It was 4 or more. All those matches was great.
That three-way that he had with Drew and Sheamus.
Oh man,
Was
that's in
it
my top.
WrestleMania 39? That was match of the weekend by
Oh no,
far.
no, that was a Clash at the Castle, I
No,
believe.
it was a WrestleMania.
Was it the 3-way?
Uh-huh.
Huh, that was a Clash.
Might have been the second time they did that, but the one I'm remembering was like I want to say it was WrestleMania 39, but I'm not 100% on that. But
Yeah.
be that as it may, what could they do with him for WrestleMania? What could they do with him for WrestleMania?
Now the rumor I've heard, I think it was on TikTok or possibly on social media, but this thing that's going on with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, right? We don't know if Seth Rollins even is clear, but obviously he is clear because I mean he put his hands on Paul. He's been moving and juving and all this other stuff. So I'm pretty sure his shoulder is basically he's doing just enough to entice us to think that he possibly could get physical at WrestleMania. So, and I mean he still has 3 weeks away. So
Right.
um the rumor I saw was that possibly, but Paul Heyman cuts a deal with Gunther, and that deal revolves around Gunther getting hired by Paul Heyman to retire Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I feel like some shenanigans will probably happen to where that doesn't happen because I know, Seth Rollins ain't probably going to retire for the next 2 years, possibly.
Yeah.
But even then, obviously you and I have always discussed a match and the way it plays out. And with this, I can see it being they have the match, but Seth Rollins wins on a DQ, basically. So that's why you
Right.
keep Gunther's retired streak going with the asterisk on top of it. Like, yeah, he lost, but he lost because of this, not because he just lost cleanly. Now, could it be possible that, mm, I mean, this will work too? Seth Rollins gets DQ'd, but it's because that Braun Breaker comes back and spears him while he's having a match with Gunther. And I mean, could you just, and I mean, think about the unhinged version of Braun Breaker, where he's not taking any orders from Paul Heyman. He's not listening to anybody. He's basically respectfully, he's the white version of Jey Uso,
Hmm. Right. Hmm.
and an unhinged bulldog.
You know my theory behind that, right? Is
Yeah.
that if they do have if they like Seth Rollins comes out with his hooded, with his hooded whatever, and you know, one of them turns and just stares at Seth, and then bounces off the ropes and just drops him with a spear. and they pulls it off obviously as Prime Breaker. But I could definitely see a um, Gunther Seth Rollins thing at WrestleMania because you gotta get him something. You gotta get him something.
The way it's going, I feel like no disrespect to the performance at all, but I feel like this match would probably be the opener rather than like in the middle of the card or something because it's too many variables of if he can go, if he can't go, how long can he go, this, that, and the third. So I don't really see them playing it out long on the card because of the fact that like, we don't even know if Seth Rollins could even do most of the stuff that Seth Rollins does in the ring because of his shoulder. So
Yeah, like has he even been training? Like has he even been taking bumps and training and lifting again?
I mean, he put a good shot on Paul, so I would think that he's 80% at least, or at least
Right.
70. But like you said, I mean, we don't know if he's been lifting only a certain amount of weights. We don't even know if he can fully lift his shoulder above his head. We don't know. I mean, because oftentimes we see him lift his shoulder and it's this like shoulder length. It's not above his head. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a very interesting episode on Unreal season 3. But
Of which I haven't even seen season 2 yet. I do
I
want
haven't.
to, but I actually
Yeah,
am
I
interested in it.
haven't either. But hopefully our fans would chime in and maybe want a Patreon episode of that whenever we get that kicked off. So
Yeah, there we go. There we go. But yeah, no, I think you got to do something with Gunther, and also, you know, LA Knight doesn't exactly have anything going on right now.
it's just been like the sidekick to the whole, take down the vision storyline. And
Yeah.
I can't really gel with that because I mean, obviously the two, you know what? Quick side note. You know what? Austin Theory and Logan Paul remind me of
Talk to me.
the two guys that work for Shredder and Ninja Turtles. Uh, Was it Rocksteady and
Bebop and Rocksteady.
yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady. Them two literally are those guys. And then like, what is this Austin Theory with this pressure stuff? Like what? Apply pressure? Really? Like, I think I liked you better when you wasn't talking. Like you was just like this serious face look on your face and just like, and then Logan Paul, I mean, I ain't really got to get into it with Logan Paul. Obviously, we both know why that man can cut a decent promo if he paid for it. So
Would Paul be the shredder in this conversation?
he'll be the he'll be Rocksteady. Oh, but you talking about Paul Heyman? Yeah,
Paul
Paul
Heyman,
Heyman is
yeah.
definitely Shredder. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Paul is definitely Shredder. Like
Okay.
1000%. Yeah.
All right. All right. I was wondering. I was
I
wondering where
mean,
you going
shouts
with
out to
that.
Paul. I mean, his method acting is tremendous. One
Oh,
week
please.
he's barely shaved, this, that, and the third, and then the next week he's back to Paul Heyman. Like, well, who does that? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis eat your heart out.
My God, this man goes from looking like a bum one week to like back to nice suit wearing and just clean shaved and everything. So
Right. And and the red eye drops that I'm sure he's using.
I mean, somebody gonna win an Emmy or anything, it should be Paul Heyman.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know we brought him up already, but what do we do in this Oba Femi Brock Lesnar situation. What do we do with this match? I've definitely got my theories, but I want to hear what your what you might have cooking over in that because Oba's definitely getting the upper hand in this situation here.
Yes. I believe you continue building Oba to the point where, we're like, oh yeah, he definitely beat Brock at WrestleMania. But this is Brock. This is a old, savvy beast. He is a veteran. He knows all the tricks in the trades. You do not have to officially win a match to win a match. Oba gets Brock gets disqualified, DQ'd, basically. Brock
Right.
gets DQ'd. He beats the holy crap out of Oba Femi, right? With that being said, that doesn't discredit Oba and it doesn't hurt Brock because it's Brock. He don't care about rules. He don't care about the record books or whatever the case may be. He's already our first ballot Hall of Famer. One DQ does not ruin his legacy or whatever the case may be of Brock, but it still leaves that door open between them two, unfinished business to the point where we can basically get Brock and Oba like a I forget it, Jacob and Drew,
Mhm.
where night after night, week after week. I mean, they can skip a week and then come back and it still be hot. Where they're just beating the holy crap out of each other, destroying everything and anything around, and then to the point where it gets to where Adam Pearce is so pissed off that he grows hair instantly, like that vein in his forehead just busts and hair comes out his head. But it leads up to another rematch at Backlash, and maybe Obafemi gets DQ. But it would be perfect for them to feud all the way up to possibly SummerSlam. And even at SummerSlam, then you finally get Obafemi going over on Brock in a Hell in a Cell match or a just whatever match that can be no disqualification and it has to be a winner.
I kind of want to put a twist on that.
Okay.
Um, I think at WrestleMania, Brock needs to go over clean, but with a twist. Okay. I think it needs to be a war, like just beating the hell out of each other, just absolutely, hard hitting matches, just hard hitting strikes, power stuff, like, with apologies to Big E, big sweaty men, you know,
Slapping me.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um, After the match, I don't think it needs to be a fluke, but I do think it needs to be like a rookie mistake of some kind from Oba that cost him. After the match, I want to see Brock Lesnar, turn on the good sportsmanship, right?
Yeah.
We all know
Yeah.
that's not really in character for him, but to kind of turn on the good sportsmanship, raise his hand, you know, you know, you're a badass, blah blah blah, right?
All right.
But then as that's going on, Oba snaps and leaves Brock Lesnar bloodied. They
Mm.
got to take him out on a stretcher. And then Oba, over the next few months, needs to absolutely go on a rampage. People need to be scared of this man. People need to fear this man. And then eventually we work into, a situation like like Oba's getting cocky, right? He's getting cocky. Nobody can beat me. I'm the ruler. I can, I can rule them all, right? And then maybe a week or two before SummerSlam, Brock's music hits. And then they have that stare down. And then it ends up being a retirement match for Brock Lesnar at a SummerSlam in his backyard in Minneapolis. And because you've got like I've seen a lot of people talking about you got to have Oba Femi go over. I disagree. And I love the guy. Don't get me wrong, I love the guy. But I don't think he needs to go over. I don't think he should go over at WrestleMania because Brock Lesnar doesn't have much longer left. He's probably just got a few more months left before he retires. Oba Femi, on the other hand, good Lord willing, he stays healthy. You're going to have for another 15 years. You got a lot of money left in him. Brock Lesnar, still a cash cow, don't get me wrong, but there's more money in the longevity of Oba Femi than there is Brock Lesnar right now.
I have a kind of offer to that.
Talk to me.
I think that's an amazing idea. I really do. How about this? We have that war, right? And I'm talking about it's a war. Oba gets FI'd for like the, I don't know, fourth or fifth time, right? Brock goes for the pin. Oba kicks out. You see this desperation look on Brock that we don't see too often, right? Brock loses it, beats Oba Femi to the point where he gets DQ'd. Like the ref trying to stop Brock. Hey, 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 stop, stop, stop. And Brock just slaps the crap out of the ref, right? All right. Oba wins on the technicality. So technically he goes over, but only on the technicality, right?
Right, right.
Now that sets Oba off, right? He's the ruler. He don't go out like that. Just at the third, Brock is like ducking and diving because think about it. Brock had set this open challenge, right? To
Mm-hmm.
whoever, don't care. Oba took the challenge on. So now, with that being said, and everything happens the way it happens, Brock. Brock goes back to his farm, blah 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 blah. But from the months on out, Oba is going berserk. Oba is like, you know, I want Brock. I will do whatever I can to get Brock back here so we can finish this match. Like we can have this match, and I want to win clean. So then we go on months on out. Oba goes against whoever, whatever. Um, Brock comes back. Hey, I've been hearing all that crap you talking, blah, blah, blah. So now we get to the road to SummerSlam, and then, we have the retirement match there. Because that obviously, Brock is like Roman. Brock shows when he shows, he shows. He does a couple of
Right.
weeks. He does the PLE, then he's gone for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say he doesn't do it this time around?
Yeah, no, he, hangs out for a few, for a couple of months and goes back to his farm and goes hunting and goes terrorizing his daughter's boyfriend and all that.
Right.
Um, I think yeah, no, there's way more money than just this one WrestleMania match. You and
Oh
I
yeah,
both know this. There's way more
absolutely.
money than just this one WrestleMania match because this could set somebody like Oba Femi up to be you know, to be a star for the next decade and a half.
The new version of Brock,
The new version of Brock, exactly.
like literally passing of the torch.
Exactly.
No pun intended.
And I've heard some people talking about wanting that to be the main event of night one. I don't agree with that, but
Yeah.
I think it slots best as almost like like the Undertaker slot, like not the co-main event, but the match before the co-main event, probably like the top of hour three or something like that. Um, because whatever goes down in that match, and if they do it right, and if they do it well, that crowd's absolutely going to be spent. And you want the fans to be able to go, be able to go get some popcorn, be able to go get some drink, use the bathroom, whatever. So you're gonna need it. You need a come down match, is what I'm saying. After that,
We back.
yeah, no, but yeah, no, I definitely don't think it belongs in the main event of night one.
No,
Full stop.
absolutely. It need to be. You know what it need to be? It need to be right after the women's, because you know it's gonna be the tag team women match. It's probably gonna be like Nikki Bella and them or whatever the case may be. So like a triple threat women's tag team match. It need to be right after that because everybody's gonna be like, no disrespect to the women involved,
Right,
somewhat still disrespect, but it's the fans gonna need to be amped up again after watching
right.
that. So what better way to have Brock and Oba go at it right after that match? So
Yeah. Let him go to the bathroom. Let him go get another drink. Whatever.
well, I feel like they're gonna be to be honest, really probably night two is gonna be Becky and AJ Lee because obviously CM Punk is night two too. So, but it definitely got to be under. It got to be right after a women's match because I feel like, and no disrespect, Stephanie and Liv, I'm enjoying the rivalry, but it's either them two or the women's tag team belts that Oba Femi and Brock got to follow because it's the crowd gonna be kind of, folks gonna be going to get beer, other people gonna be probably waking up from a nap, it's stuff like that. So
Stuck in the line behind the urinals in the men's room.
it's still like in the line behind the urinal. My brother Ryan probably took a break, check on some stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, go flip over the baseball game or something at that point.
right, right, exactly.
Oh boy. Um, yeah, I definitely think there's some I think this could be a real star-making moment for Obafemi if they do it right. Like a star-making moment for the next 15 years. And yeah, I just I think yeah, I I think I'll leave it at that.
You know me. I like to play devil's advocate.
Sure.
like to throw a gear into the machine and cause havoc. Could you see Gunther being asserted in that match? Only because obviously we're
Yeah,
on the
say
road
more.
to
Yeah, say more. Yeah.
only because we're on the road to Brock's retirement, and Gunther has been on this retirement kick or whatever the case may be, and who's to say that Gunther don't get inserted into that match to add Brock to his list of victims and pretty much try to increase. And then that's another thing. You remember I've been preaching for this. That causes a feud between Oba and Gunther because Gunther wanted to assert himself in Oba's business, and then that sets a feud for them for the next 10 years.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Whew. Um, yeah, Obafemi and Gunther. Do you pull the trigger on something like that? Like at a, you know, like at I don't know, like a Money in the Bank, because Money in the Bank's in September this year
Yeah,
instead of before SummerSlam like it usually is. But do you wait until like a Money in the Bank? Do you wait until like a Royal Rumble kind of thing, or because that needs some build. I think that needs some build.
definitely does. Oh, I mean, obviously, it's just fantasy booking, and WWE could just pull a rabbit out their butts and put Gunther against Dragon Lee and have him retire him. I don't know, but it's just something to pander on because I've been calling it since last year about them two meeting because I mean Gunther needs a rival, like a certified person that is right there neck and neck with him, just like Brock had Kurt Angle. So
Yep.
just saying. I
Yeah.
mean,
No,
obviously,
that
I mean, yeah, I mean, Roman is a nice rival too, but Roman don't be on the show like that. We need somebody that's
right.
consistent. We need a rivalry that's consistent. So,
Yeah. I mean, like like you had Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, one of the best feuds of the early part of the 2000s.
oh my God, that was they had, and I mean, obviously they ain't going to induct that into the Hall of Fame, but they do
Yeah.
matches that go in the Hall of Fame. That's one of the matches. Brock and
Absolutely.
Kurt. If
Yeah.
hell, really, any Kurt Angle catalog, really, when you think
No,
about it.
no, totally. Totally.
So. Especially him and Eddie. Oh my God, that's
Good. Yeah.
take me back.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it will never go there, and we don't need to go into the reasons why.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you feeling about this women's IC match?
I'm done.
I'm kind of like I'm a little over it, to be honest.
I wish Bailey would have won the IC title. Um, if you sit here and make me believe that AJ Lee is going to beat Becky at WrestleMania and go 4-0 against Becky, I would call you delusional. I mean, basically, she's been taking L's to Becky to set up this final match between them so Becky can win. And then Becky goes on and brags about her one win against AJ Lee at the grandest of shows. She's the GOAT, and everybody says it, not just her, and blah, blah, blah. So,
Yeah. And can we? I just want that. I don't want her. I don't want her with that belt again. I
I just,
really don't want her with
yeah,
that
I
damn
don't want her
title
with that
again.
belt. I'm just so fed up with this feud because it's not doing anything for me, to be honest. I'd rather AJ like fight somebody young and up and coming that like idolized her and like
Yeah.
something happened where AJ Lee was a, a bitch to her and like that set her off and now she's want to avenge her wrong being done to her to AJ Lee, something like that makes sense.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Becky and her going at it back and forth again is just like, I mean, it's over. Like, cut your losses. Once we had that last match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, they went on their ways. Like we didn't. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. CM Punk, got the world title. Here goes Seth Rollins cashing in. He would have had the world title, but karma is a bitch. You see her
It
fake injury. You, you know, look at
kind
where
of a
we at
squeak.
now. So.
Yeah. Kind of a squeaky wheel gets the grease kind of a proposition there.
Yep, and he wanted to do a move that we've never seen you do. You've been in the ring multiple times. We've seen you do a lot of things, but yet you put Cody in a move that you never have done in recent years. And look where you're at now.
That coast to coast drop kick.
You could have been going to WrestleMania as world champion,
Yeah.
and but yet you wanted to do a headbutt from the opposite end of the ring just to
That was
just
so stupid.
totally smash your shoulder into 20 different pieces.
That was so stupid. I'm sorry. That was just stupid.
It didn't make any sense, Ryan. It didn't. We never seen. Seth do something like that. I could see if it was some move that he did on a, you know, that's in his catalog that we constantly see him do, and then that's how he got injured. Like that backflip, the backflip he did that kind of caused his fake injury. I seen that. He's done that. I've witnessed him do that move. But like you doing a crossface from the opposite end of the ring to Cody hanging in the tree of woe. Come on, man. We gotta do better. We gotta be smarter about this.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
And
That's
then
a
on top of that, in a match that absolutely didn't make any sense, like is no gratification from this match. It wasn't for the world title. It wasn't for the undisputed title. It was just for a no disrespect to the people over there.
relax.
It was for a freaking title that we only see once a year that absolutely holds nothing to nobody. It's like uh it's like getting a participation ribbon and being like, hey, look what I got. Oh, you a crown jewel champion. That's nice. You never defend that belt until crown jewel. So what? And then you have to be champion to even. I'm sorry. I don't even want. I'm done. I'm done. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm about to crash out like I did with Judgment Day because it doesn't make any freaking sense at all. You have to be champion to even be in that match. And then on top of that, you win the match. You don't even defend that title until next year, and you may or may not be champion. So what's the okay? Yeah, I'm done. I'm right.
Are you sure you're done?
Yep,
You,
I'm done.
I'm like, are
I
you
am done.
actually done? Or you just saying you're done?
You know what? I'll be done when Dan cursed that whole entire PLE. If he curses that PLE, I promise you, I am going to be jumping up and down. I'm going to be running down the street, back and forth. I'm paint. I'm telling you, he's going to do something that I love, and I'm going to paint my face, and I'm going to
Wrestle,
be on this pod with my face painted because I know it's coming.
WrestlePalooza, you are cursed.
Oh my God! If they even bring that name up, I hope he's all over that.
Of course, you know that's going to be Danhausen in the main event of that match
Oh my
of
God!
that
I,
show,
I will.
right?
I watch. I will watch. I will literally be excited for that. I will watch that match.
Will you get an ESPN subscription to watch it?
I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to say it online because I don't want to get in trouble or have somebody know that I'm doing this to their account. But you know,
I don't know
yeah,
you.
yeah, sure,
Yeah, yeah,
sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I
I
would
don't know
get a.
you.
I would get
I don't
a.
know this guy.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, I would get an ESPN account. Yeah, sure, sure.
Wink, wink, nudge. Yeah, wink, wink, nudge.
Mhm.
But oh boy. Well, before we wrap up here, I know you had an interesting theory about a certain board member of the TKO Corporation and his possible involvement at the Showcase of the Immortals. I know you wanted to bring that up.
I do because once again, this is the road to WrestleMania. This is the show of all shows. This brings out everybody and their mother. This feud between CM Punk and Roman Reigns is getting personal by the minute. Uh, and you don't mention one of the royal families of wrestling. Every Samoan I've probably possibly have came across on social media has either said something about CM Punk or just been mentioned something about CM Punk. And one of the greatest of all time, of just first ballot, not even first ballot, just a Hall of Famer. We call him Hall of Famer. He hasn't officially come out and said he retired, or whatever the case may be. But Dwayne the Rock Johnson, the great one, the
Oh,
people's
that guy.
champ.
That guy.
Yes,
That
Mr.
guy.
TKO himself, Mr. Final Boss himself. He inserted himself into the one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, WrestleMania 40, and that instantly became a classic. This is this has the groundwork to be one another classic, obviously. And this got his name written all over it. This got his face written all over it. This got his final boss written all over it. And mind you, did you see The Rock's face on that trailer that was behind LA Knight when he was talking about if we're going down that bloodline road again, then we can't be cool.
I clocked that. I definitely saw that. I noticed that. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, CM Punk has not mentioned Dwayne yet. He's mentioned everybody. He pretty much mentioned the whole Samoan dynasty, basically, but
Right.
he's not even mentioned The Rock. He kept saying like, "Oh, Roman can't win on his own. He got to get his cousins. You know, all you Samoans, y'all can't win on y'all own." Blah 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 blah. Mind you, CM Punk and The Rock have beef. They, if you think back a couple years ago, Rock came back. Rock beat CM Punk, which ruined CM Punk's chances of going to WrestleMania, which ruined his chances of fighting John Cena, and would ruin his chance of ever becoming a main eventer. Rock was the reason why CM Punk hadn't become a main eventer until CM Punk fought Roman to be a main eventer in that triple threat match. So could you possibly see some inklings of and I mean, not to bring up stuff outside of wrestling, but The Rock does have a live action movie by Disney that's coming out pretty soon. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he could use the legwork for promotions and stuff through
Yeah.
WWE. So
And you know who owns ESPN, right? The first
very
WrestleMania on
beloved,
ESPN. Yeah.
yeah, a very beloved mouse that's on a particular network called Disney. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm starting to kind of come to your opinion on that. I think there's a very good chance that we see an appearance from the final boss at WrestleMania, with the caveat that we were saying the same thing about the main event between Cena and Cody Rhodes a year ago.
we won't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. That's from a Disney movie. We don't talk about Bruno.
Okay, my mistake.
That is
But
that
my
is a dark
point,
that is a dark cloud that we don't mention ever again. That was one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. The main events, and we won't mention it.
yeah, yeah, and I'm not going to bring up the hip hop superstar who walked out 140 pounds with that Mick Foley hardcore title around his shoulder like he owned the place. I'm not going to mention it. Not going to mention it. Not going to mention his name. But
He
I,
walked out like the Undertaker. He took 10 freaking minutes to walk down to a ring where he had no business being, and he wasn't intimidating anybody. Okay,
breathe, breathe.
let that go. I ain't gonna think about it
Yeah.
anymore because, matter of fact, we're still going to the scene in the prime. That's what pisses me off even more. We got the same graphic. Okay. Yep. Nope. Nope. This is a different WrestleMania. This is a different energy. We're excited about this WrestleMania.
Are they
This
even going to use? Are they even going to use the same set? Are they even going to use the same stage?
Ryan, I swear, the only difference between what happened last year and this year is the graphics that they've been using for the card of all the performers. But if they use the same damn production that they did last year, I'm still my mind is still blown that they're going back to Las Vegas a year after you've already been to Las Vegas. You already set the location to New Orleans.
Just ripped it right out of their hands.
The Rock came out, in his fashion. Oh, the great ones here to announce that WrestleMania is going to be in New Orleans. Ooh, awesome. I got fond memories of WrestleMania being in New Orleans. I still remember Dan Bryan holding them two titles up and Mick Foley saying the miracle on Brown Street. Like, there's great fond memories of New Orleans. Brock Lesnar broke Undertaker's streak in New Orleans. But you take that away from the city of New Orleans, from the fans of New Orleans, from us as wrestling fans, it's a possibility that maybe we could have went. Possibly. But not with TKO, got their fingerprints all over it. And now they go back to Las Vegas. And not only do they go back to Las Vegas, their prices are still ridiculous. And then on top of that, you had the
Even more
nerve, which
so,
they
even more so.
even more so. And then you got the nerve to not only go back to the scene of the crime, but then you ban temporarily, you ban the bars and restaurants around 50 yards of the stadium to tell them they can't broadcast WrestleMania at their business. And then you take the ban away, thank God. But at the same time, you're making a I'm trying to keep this show as at minimum. You're making a horse of yourself, basically.
Okay, good catch.
It gets better and better with WWE. Like they never cease to not give us something to talk about other than wrestling.
And that is a damn shame.
It is because like when the old man was there. Oh, I mean, if we would have started our podcast around that time, oh, we would have plenty to talk about. We would have been poo-pooing all over the storylines that was going on. But no, we started now when things were hanging, like everything was going good. That we had good storylines to talk about this, that, and third, and then boom, TKO bought it, and it was just like, yo, what are we doing?
Well, before we go down that rabbit hole, remember our positivity that we felt this time last week, the
Yes,
excitement, the eagerness that we both had about this
absolutely.
show.
Mhm.
Can we stay there? Can we try to stay there at least another week? We can come in and absolutely roast the show on a spit if it sucks.
Yeah, I'm still optimistic. We still have 3 weeks away. There are plenty of cards on. I mean, well, plenty of matches on the card that I am excited about. I'm definitely excited this year compared to last year.
Yeah.
Obviously we had like only a handful of things that we were excited about, but we literally have night one and night two that we're excited about. We have particular spots in the nights that we're excited about. Hell, I'm even excited. To be honest, I'm excited about Stephanie's match. I mean, well, I
Yeah.
mean, I am excited about Stephanie's match. I'm really excited about that. But I am excited about Tiffany's match. Like the rumor that she possibly could be fighting uh Julia for the United States title at WrestleMania. When the last time that you can remember us being excited for not only a US title match, but a US title women's match at that,
Featuring Tiffany Stratton.
featuring Tiffany Stratton?
You do remember how bad we absolutely took a dump on that match he had in that
With
whole
Charlotte
program that she
Flair
had with
of all,
Charlotte last year.
yeah,
Yeah.
with Charlotte Flair of all people. Like you would have thought we would be excited about that. Like one of the goats in women wrestling versus one of the upcoming rising star. And we poo-pooed all over that match. Rightfully so. But like now, a
And,
year
and in
later,
retrospect, rightfully so.
yes, absolutely. And like now, I'm excited for it. And rightfully so, because Stephanie needs a redo, which they're doing. And then Julia needs more respect. And I'm like, at first, we was like confused about the pairing, but I get it now because of what she said. Like, um, Miss
Deanna.
Miss James. Yeah, Kiana.
Kiana James,
Kiana.
yes.
Kiana James. Kiana James has been helping Julia with her English and helping her just, get familiar how to speak English and just help with the character and stuff. And that's been awesome. And I mean, Kiana James has been on a tear herself. So eventually I can see them breaking up and Kiana James being a star herself. And maybe she goes for the IC title, or maybe she goes for the US title. But either or, I just need them to do right by that title. Sure, Julia is two-time champion or whatever, but rightfully so, she is a up and coming star. She has that title. Why is the IC title on two known superstars? They are first ballot Hall of Famers. Granted, Bailey could have won it, but that's fine. That would have been added to her resume and really put her as a Grand Slam champion. Then she already has a storyline with her tag team partner, Valkyra. They could have had a feud or something, but I don't know what they're doing with Bailey, and I'm quite frankly disappointed and pissed off about it because the fact of the matter is you try to play the schizos the route and you do nothing with it. It just totally disappears. You don't even do it anymore. Then you come back to it again where it's kind of like maybe she does it, maybe she don't. But like that just falls in line with the whole Gunther situation. Like, how in the world you say y'all got this list of stuff y'all are trying to figure out, and it pretty much reminds me and you of them. They're sitting in the room. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Here's a whiteboard, and they're just throwing darts and seeing which one sticks. That's basically what they're doing. They ain't even like, all right, here's the idea. How y'all feel about it? No, they're just like, all right, here go a couple of ideas that everybody picked out. Triple H basically grabs a dart and throws and see where it lands. Then he's like, oh, that sounds pretty good. But one more thing that I would like to say before we get off tonight. Is it just me? Or have you realized how good SmackDown has become since Road Dogg has left?
Huh.
R-Truth
They've
wins
definitely
tag team belts, and Drew and Jacob basically beats the holy crap out of each other for the whole entire 3 hours. And like let's not forget, it was total chaos on SmackDown. Like it
no.
started off with a bang. It kept going with a bang. When the last time you and I have ever like really just sat down and was like, oh yo, SmackDown was good.
I hadn't thought about it until just now, but yeah, no, it's definitely picked up. It definitely like it makes more sense now. Obviously, we're hot and heavy into the WrestleMania season, but it makes a lot more sense now. That whole Jacob and Drew thing from this past week, that was hot. I mean, that reminded me. I mean, it was old school, is what it was. Like it was
Oh, and
old.
I
Like I mean, it was old school, like Attitude Era kind of old school.
and I'm talking about it started off with Drew beating the holy crap out of Jacob in his car.
Before he
And it
even
kept
got out.
before he even got out. And then on top of that, to go from that to like they go into the ring and then they ended up in the backstage. And then we have a segment with Solo and Tamatanga. And then all of a sudden here comes Jacob out of nowhere throwing Drew into the thing. It was like, basically in Jacob's fashion. Yeah, you know what I mean? He doing the shake and stuff. Like I'm my mind is blown. I'm excited
I'm
for
invested. Yeah,
tomorrow.
I'm
I'm
invested.
invested. And then on top of that, the the look of just surprise on Damien's Priest's face. It's like everybody knew that it was going to win the titles other than him. And just for them to be tag team champions now. So now we get a daily segment of them and R-Truth just being R-Truth basically. Hey, I'm invested. And then like rumors are swirling that we may get Street Profit back.
Hmm.
And if we get them back, I'm going ahead to say it. They got to be heel. They got to be full fledged heel. Montez Ford obviously is magnificent on the mic, so he should be spearheading the team. And obviously, they're going to do what they got to do to be number one contenders, and then it's going to be R-Truth and Damian Priest for and Street Profit. But I'm gonna tell you this though, before I go down this worm, I'm not going down this wormhole, but I'm finna give you a little crash out. If we get another segment beyond this Friday of MFT and freaking Y6, I'm going to crash out. I hope Dan Hauser, he pops up on the Y6 and be like, "Hey guys, what's up? Can I be in your group?" Oh no, 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 this ain't you're not part of the family. Boom. I need that. Oh, and speaking of first, can't believe we just overlooked this. It's a mask versus mask match between the Americanos. Like we're finally finna be over this.
They better not take that mask off of Ludwig because he's been killing that. He has been
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
he
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he no
Absolutely.
he
Yeah.
is so over down in Mexico. It's
Oh,
scary.
and he needs to
They
be. He needs to
freaking love
stay.
that guy.
Yeah, they love him. So I mean the only right move is to have Chad Gable get unmasked, which he should have been unmasked from the jump.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, after he came back from his injury.
thank God for Dan. Thank God. Like it's besides that travesty of him getting, introduced in Chicago, everything about him has been perfect. It's
And and
it,
and and to be fair, as silly as it was, I thought it was funny as hell.
it was funny. And like we said, like you and I talked about, it should have been on a Saturday night main event. It
It
should have
should
been on
have.
Raw. It should have been on SmackDown. It should have been on something other than Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber is on the same verge as WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. It's one of those pivotal PLEs to steamroll us on the road to WrestleMania. You do not do that.
The last pay-per-view before WrestleMania.
Yes, you do not do that to a character like Dan, where like the way they built him up, it made it seem like, I don't know, maybe the Undertaker's coming back, or Vince McMahon finna pop up, or something to where fans are going to be shocked.
Chris
They
Jericho.
wasn't shocked. Yeah, Chris Jericho. They wasn't shocked. They were pissed. They was like, "So
They
you
are. They
did this?
were.
You did this weekly segment of who's in this box just for it to be him?" If they would have had tomatoes, it would have been tomatoes all over that darn stage.
It was Shockmaster Point 2.
Oh, it would have been WCW all over again when Goldberg lost that belt to Kevin Nash, and they were just throwing debris all in that ring.
I want to know how big that box was because you not only had him, but you also had like those 10 dancing girls.
Oh God, it was probably about as big as I was about to say, I think Undertaker or whatever.
Yeah, of course. We're not supposed to look into logic on a random wooden
Right,
crate um,
right, right.
on a wrestling show. All right. Well, 3 weeks to go before WrestleMania. I can't wait to see what they're bringing in next. I can't wait to see what they're adding to the show next. I'm still positive. I'm still feeling positive. I'm still feeling positive that we're going to get an entertaining show. But it's very cautious, this positivity.
I'm very guarded with my positivity. Like I'm very, that wound is still fresh from last year. So, and I mean, they going. How many times, Ryan? I got to say this on the show.
Dom, yes, yes, relax.
They're going to the scene of the crime. It'd have
Same
been different
stadium.
if this was a whole different location, whole different feel to the WrestleMania, but you're
Oh,
doing the
oh,
same
and I
graphic.
don't know, New Orleans. Oh, wait, what a crazy shock.
Yeah, New Orleans, or hell, It could have been Tennessee or Florida or wherever the case may be. Saudi Arabia all over again. I don't care. But you going back to the scene of the crime. If you use the same damn stuff you used last year, I'm definitely gonna crash out. I'm like, oh God, this is gonna be a terrible WrestleMania because you're using the same exact crap that you used last year. But thank God everything is different. Everything about that WrestleMania this year is different. So let's just keep the positivity. But I will say this: if we see a dude named TS pop up on that show, I am going to personally, every form of social media accounts that I have, and even with our WrestleMania roundtable pod, pod socials, I'm going to blow up WWE social media account with the disdain that I have for you to have the audacity to bring that fool back on the show.
Don't encourage it. Don't encourage them. Please
I'm
don't
not. I'm
encourage
not.
them because
I'm not. Hell,
I mean,
they got I show speed on the damn show, so it only goes down from there.
I told you I had almost like a PTSD flashback when I was watching a Bama basketball game a few weeks ago, and they played that TS song, and like my eyelids started twitching. They
Yeah.
played that
I remember
TS
you told me
song
that.
in the stadium.
I'm just trying to be positive. Still
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
be
yeah.
positive.
Let's wrap this up before we go down too many more rabbit holes.
I know it.
Yeah. All right. So let's rock and roll this again, shall we, next week?
Absolutely.
All right, my guy. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the Wrestling Roundtable. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. You can follow us on the social media machine on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can check us out next week. Tell a friend, leave a review, do all the things, and come back again next week. For Dom, I'm Ryan. You've been watching and listening to the Wrestling Roundtable. Until we eat again, take care and so long for now.